This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So we're going to see the DML operations that can be performed using Apex. Your list, your set, map, and SOQL combinations, whatever we are seeing, all were all are able to uh, helping us to get the data from the object and 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 store the data locally in a variables of a primitive type or collection type. So we know how to retrieve the data and store those data into the local variables of your program by using a collection type or primitive type. But why do you retrieve the data? You get the data, okay, and you will also modify the data and update back into the database, and you will delete some informations based on criteria. So we we do some DML operations. DML in the sense data manipulation. So how to manipulate the data, how to modify the data which is there in the database. So data is there in the database. When you modify the data, then you will get the data using SOQL. In order to manipulate the data, you have to first retrieve the data, right? So what language you'll use here? You're going to use SOQL. Using SOQL language, I can read it. I can retrieve the data, whatever data I need. For example, I'm going to modify the industry field. I'm going to modify the industry field. Then I get all the records with the industry field as part of it by using SOQL. So SOQL is a language, am I right? SOQL is a language to get the data from the database. So now I'm going to modify this industry field from energy to a technology, then update back to the database. So we cannot use SOQL to update the data back to the database. We have another language called DML language, which is used to manipulate the data. So it's is an abbreviation of data manipulation language. Okay, so using this language, you can do the data operations. So DML operations you can do, database operation you can do, manipulate the data. What are the different DML language statement we have? It's also called statement. There are two ways you can do the DML. One using, there are two ways. One using DML statement, and the other approach we have database methods. One using DML statement, other using database methods. If you take DML statement, so what are the DML operations we have? We insert data, we update, delete. We can also undelete records from recycle bin. Okay, we can merge and we can upsert. We're going to see each of these statement with example, and either you go with DML statement to do the database operations, or you can go with database methods. So these methods belongs to a class, database class, system defined class. So there I have a methods, insert, update, whatever methods you're seeing here, that's going to be in the form of a method. Whatever statement you're seeing here, that's going to be in the form of method. Static method belongs to a system defined class called a database. Etc. Okay, we are going to see with the examples. So these are the statements. Using statements, you can do database operations, or using methods, you can do database operations. So we'll start with DML statement. Insert object variable, or I can use object list. So it means the statement followed by, you can refer a variable, an object, a variable of object type, or a variable of list, list of s object, list of s object. It means I can insert one record at a time, or else I can insert more than one record at a time using collection. Right? Why we are using collection? To process bulk volume of data. Okay, so collection is basically will save the DML statement. Suppose I'm inserting 10 account records. I need not go with 10 insert statement. I can put all the account records into one collection. With one DML statement, I can insert the 10 account records at a time. Just an example. Okay, so maximum, we have a limits here. How many records you can process, that can be discussed in a separate topic. Okay, so the insert statement can be run against one variable or collections of variable. So this is how we will create the account record. So what happens? This output I got. There is no ID in this output, right? There is no ID. There is no ID field. Why? Because the record is not saved into the database. Whenever you insert any row into the database, the system will create an 18-digit alphanumeric record ID, right? So whenever that record is there in the database, you get the ID. This record is not there yet into the database. It is just a local variable of account type. So how to permanently store the data into the database? We are going to use a DML statement. insert A, just inserting a one record. You will follow this. So I just going to insert A. So before insert, I do not have ID. After insert, I have ID. You follow this? So insert is a statement, database statement, which is used to permanently insert the record into the database. Right? So once inserted, the ID is generated. Once inserted, the ID is generated. So now in my next statement, I can display I can display the record ID. Right? How will you insert? How will you get the record ID? A dot ID. Okay. Next to this, because once inserted, the record ID is generated. Okay. Then I can go with A dot ID. I can display the ID. You will follow this. Insert lead record. I will insert lead record. Lead. I can also go like this, right? This format also acceptable. Like this. Right. Let's go and verify. So earlier we have inserted the test account. So it has been inserted and lead, the one we inserted now. It's clear to all of you? And me? Right. How to insert more than one record at a time. So I'm going to create. I hope everyone is able to follow this. Right. I like this. I have three records. In order to insert three records, what we will do? normally we'll do a DML for every record individually, right? So you do DML for 3 records individually. So when you do 3 records, then how many individual DML statement? Then 3 DML statement we are executing in one transaction. What is one transaction? A set of operations, a set of statements executed in a program. Okay, a set of operation executed. It's called one transaction. So start from here, ends here. So we have limitations with respect to how many how many DMLs you can process in one transaction. So we can only process 150 DML, not maximum. Maximum, not more than this. The maximum 150 DML statement. Can only be performed in one transaction. So there's a limit enforced by the system. If you see here, we did one DML, right? So scroll down and see the system generated messages here. A DML. So how many DML we have executed? Out of 150, we did one DML. Out of 150, we did one DML. Suppose I do this. So in one transaction, when you say one transaction, this all set of operations together is considered as one transaction. I do this. Then see the log here. So how many DML executed? 3 DML. So 3 DML we have performed. Right. So how about in the real time when you process more number of DMLs uh, in your program, then you will easily hit the limit 150. When you reach this limit, the program will not run. When you reach this limit, it's a limit usage. What you are seeing. When you reach this limit 150, beyond 150, we cannot run your program. Got me? We cannot run your program. So this type of limit we have for every Apex processing, SOQL. Okay, how many DML rows we can process. This can be discussed in a separate topic called governor limits. These limits are called governor limits enforced by the Salesforce to write Apex code within this limit. Okay, so in order to save the DML statement, it's always best practice. Do not process okay, do not process individual records with a separate DML statement, then process with the help of collection as one collection. Okay, as one in one collection, put all the records into one collection and use one DML statement and update or insert, do the DML operation by using one DML statement using collections. So we are going to replace this. See here, we are going to declare one list account. Okay, is all we have seen already. Only difference is we are seeing now how to do DML. That's it. Insert ACC list. So instead of doing like this, I do with the help of a collection in one statement. So I do not need to do this. Am I right? So instead of going with a separate DML, I'm just going with a list and one DML statement. I can insert. So how many DML we use now? Just one DML out of 150 limit. I just use one DML out of 150 limit. So I can insert now also. right? Previously we used 3 DML, now we use 1 DML insert, able to insert the 3 records. You will follow this. People able to follow this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it means insert child for a parent. How to insert child records for a parent? I have a account. Okay.
So, Ranjit, related records means inserting a child back, right?
Ah, yeah. Contact for a account. You're right. So now the parent record is inserted. I'm going to insert a child record for it. It's a session, it's a topic I will cover later, Girish. They're just starting the basics now. When you insert like this, what will happen? The contact is going to be inserted individually, the account is going to be inserted individually. But my requirement is insert the below contact for the above account. Okay, my requirement is to insert the below contact for the above account. Then we are going to use the relationship field. Am I right? So when you manually insert a contact, we choose account. We choose account name, right? So this is a relationship field. Through relationship field, when two objects are in relationship, we get this lookup mirror. Through the lookup mirror, we are able to select the record name field. It can be a text or auto number type, but this field is selectable through the lookup mirror symbol. Am I right? So now this contact is inserted for this account. Okay, so there is a duplicate rule. So the contact is inserted for this account. But internally, the relationship field is going to store ID of the parent record. We already discussed in our SOQL relationship examples also. Okay, the relationship field is going to store ID of the parent record, but in the UI is going to display the record name field of the parent record. Got me? So what is the how to refer the ID field, the relationship field name in your child object? Okay, it is if you refer the child object field section, I'm going to the contact field section. This is relationship name, this is a field name. But when you refer the ID field, how you are referring? With ID. People have to remember that naming convention. It's going to be the name of the field suffix with ID. Account ID. Account ID is a field account ID is a field which is used to relate, your parent, the account. So equal to what you're going to pass here, we're going to pass a ID of the parent record, because you're doing this programmatically, right? So a dot id. When you do this, now the record is, now the contact is for this account. Which account? This account, test parent one. Now when insert a contact, the contact will be inserted for the above account. It's clear to all of you. The field name is account ID, and what need to pass here? We need to pass an ID of the parent record. It has been inserted, okay, for a account. Everyone is good with this? Okay, op1 dot name. What I'm doing now, I'm just giving value for opportunity field. Okay, and this opportunity I'm going to insert for the above account. Then op1 dot account id equal to a dot id. Insert op1. Follow this. Insert a case for a contact. We are going to insert a case for the contact. So case is a parent. Will follow this. I'm just using different form of writing the. Here I just used the regular format. Here I use the format where in the constructor you pass the variable. So any format is we can use. Am I right? So inserting the case for the contact. So we have a field called contact ID c1.id. Parent ID we have to pass. Insert cs. Follow this. insert contact for existing account. Whose name is capital. I have some account in my database where the name is capital. Okay, I'm going to insert a contact for the existing account. Now, the examples, whatever we've seen, we insert the account, and in the next statement, we insert the opportunity. We insert the account, we insert the contact. In the same transaction, we insert both the parent and the child. Now, I'm going to insert only a child for the existing parent which is there in the database. So I have some condition here. For that condition, what are the account record meet this criteria? The first occurrence of the account meet this criteria, I'm going to insert a contact for that account. Okay, so suppose this is a contact I'm going to insert. So this is a contact I'm going to insert. We need to pass the ID of the parent record here, right? So how to which parent ID you need? I need a parent ID where the name of the account is capital. So before you do this statement, you have to get select. So what you need actually? I need only ID. Account where name equal to capital. Am I right? We are limit by 1. The reason there will be multiple records, right? So I just limit by 1, and now I can store into one variable. The reason we limited the result by 1. If you don't limit it, there is a chance multiple records will be retrieved by the select statement. Then you have to go with the list only here. Then from the list, you take one record and pass that ID here. Okay, that's the reason we limited the result by 1. So now I have to pass a dot ID. We'll follow this. Insert C1. So insert the contact for the existing account whose name is capital. Okay, so we are inserting the child only, but when I need ID of the parent, so then we query the database and get the ID and pass that ID here. You follow this. So how to insert more than one child record for the parent? Suppose for the same example, I'm going to insert a multiple child record. I have 5 child records I'm going to insert. So what I'm doing now, I'm inserting 5 records. So we know, like, instead of going with the individual DML statement, you can make one collection of contact type. So using one DML against the collection, I can update, I can insert. Everyone is good with this? So this is your insert DML. Okay. So this is your insert DML. We're going to see the update one. So whatever you have seen is the insert. So update. You can update one object variable, or you can update object list also. The statement update statement can be executed against one record or collections of record as well. So when you're going for update, we are going to do update on the existing record in the database, right? So then you'll get the record, then update back to the database. When you run your update statement, update operation in the data loader, what type of data you will have it in your CSV file? When you do the update operations in data loader, what type of information you will keep it in your CSV file? You will keep the matching field, basically the record ID, and then the field to be updated. Okay, the field value to be updated. I do not have any other field. Those fields, if you're not going to update anything out, right, by those fields, then you don't keep those fields in your CSV file. You only keep the okay, two category of information in your CSV file. One is the matching ID. Matching ID is going to be a record ID, and the rest of the field is going to be the field that we are going to update. Okay, so here, listen here. So my requirement is update the phone number of account, okay, whose name is capital. I'm going to whose name starts with capital. So whatever account record starts with capital, I'm going to, okay, I give in different example. Let's go to one record right now. Okay, just first occurrence of the account record whose name is capital, I'm going to update the phone number. Okay, some phone number I need to update. Okay, so what you're going to do, first you're going to get the record ID from account where so I'm going to update the phone number. Then I need a phone number is also a part of this query, right? Because I'm going to refer the phone number here. A dot phone number equal to, so whatever new phone number, then update. So now this will fail actually, because phone number is not part of this variable. So I need to get the phone number as well. I need to get a phone number as well. So then I can do this. Okay. So ID is always part of it. Even if you don't refer the ID here, ID is always going to be in this variable. In a select statement, if you run your select statement in the here ID is always a part of it. The records which I retrieved doesn't have any phone number, so phone field is not appearing here. Suppose I fetch name. The name is a record field, right? It must always be there. Name is a record field in the account record. So name, ID. So ID, if you don't retrieve also, don't mention also, it's retrieved. So when you update the record, you need a ID only for the existing record in the database only. You can run your update statement. But what about your insert? Insert can be performed against a new record. It is not there in the database, right? So whereas the update, you're going to get the data from the database, then modify whatever value modify and update back to the database. Will follow this? Will go to this? So let's see any record we get in the query editor. Okay, there are 0 records. Okay, no phone number. No phone number has been given. So I got some record here. I'm going to update phone number as well as industry field. Okay, phone number as well as industry field. Okay, industry by default it's apparel. I'm going to change that into education. So what you will do? I get the record where name equal to capital. Okay, name equal to capital. Then so what I'm going to update? I'm going to update phone number as well as industry. So what field you are going to update? That field must be there in the select statement. A dot. Then update A. You follow this? Refresh this. The phone number and this is modified. You follow this? Okay. Suppose I have two records here. I have two records here in the name capital. I have two records here. So for all the records, I'm going to update now. I'm going to update the phone number, industry, and rating. For all the two records, multiple records. I just given the two records here. If there are more than one record, then how to update all the records with the with some updates for the phone and the rating field. right? So this is my condition. So I have some records with the capital. I have some records with capital, capital limited. So the name starts with capital. Update all the phone numbers of those companies with this phone number. So what I'm going to do? First, you're going to get select what I'm going to modify phone. Where name like how to represent the any character percentage. So there will be multiple records may found. So storing into list, storing this into list. We'll follow this. So you can execute this in the query editor and see. Okay, so there are five records. Okay. Oh, there are five records is matching with this condition. Okay, so all the five records we are going to update with a new phone number. We'll follow this. That's what we're going to do here. So what we're going to do now? So we're going for each loop list. What should be on the left side? We're going to have a variable type account A. Am I right to all of you? Able to follow this? Then we are going to update for every instance. We are going to change the phone number. For every element in this collection, we are going to change the phone number to new phone number. The phone number is like a string, so we're going to use single quotes. Then we know like every element is going to have ID because ID is part of this query always, right? So if you do here, if you do your DML inside, what may happen? What may happen? What is the maximum number of DML you can execute in one transaction? 150 maximum. If you keep your DML inside the for loop, if the query retrieves more than 150 records, if there are more than 150 account with the name capital, start with capital, then how many DML you will execute? More than 150 DML you will execute. If it retrieves 200 record, for example, then when the DML, you run here, when it reaches 150, then when it goes to 151, the whole transaction will fail. It will not run. Exceeding the limit. You are exceeding the limit. Okay. But we know like we need not update individual record every time. Instead, I can do this update like this because okay, because what we did, we modify this variable only. We modify the phone number of every element in this collection. Then finally, we are update the collection back to the database as a list. As a whole collection, we are going to use one DML statement, update more than one record at a time. We will follow this. Everyone is able to follow this? Okay, so get the account whose name like start with capital. We know the wildcard character. Okay, any number of characters beyond that capital. Then update the phone number and one statement update all the collections. When you do this, what happens? Every element in this collection, the phone number is changed. The phone number is changed. Okay, so phone number is changed to local variable. To make it permanent, to persist the changes to the database, we need to run update statement. The number has been modified. We'll follow this. So how to update one record, how to update a bulk volume of record. So what is my requirement? Get all the closed opportunities. When you say closed opportunities, it can be a closed last or closed one. Either you close the opportunity with the win status or you will also lose the opportunity. Okay. So when you see the opportunity record, I have a field called next step. I have a field called next step. What is the field name? The field name is basically next step. So this is a field. This is a field used to specify. It's a text field. Okay, it's a text field used to specify what is the immediate action needs to be taken on this deal. What is the immediate step needs to be taken when it is closed one? If it is closed today, okay. If it is closed today, then I wanted to have this next field send the code to the customer. The next step is nothing but they will send the pricing details of the deal in the format of PDF or something. So that's the immediate step needs to be taken. Where in the case if the opportunity is lost, the opportunity is lost. Okay, if you take any other, suppose I take this and okay, we lose the opportunity, for example. When the opportunity is lost, then the immediate step needs to be okay, meet the financial manager. Just a kind of escalation step. So we are going to do this. Okay, first I need to get the step one, get all the closed opportunities. Get all the closed opportunities. Select. So what are you going to modify basically? Next step. So next step is important. where stage name equal to close last, or you can also go with the in operator also. In class, right? In keyword also you can use. So this is a query we are going to execute. Okay. So I got all the closed one. Okay. What about close last? Do you have any close last opportunity? No. I have one close last opportunity as well now. There are 20 records, close last. Okay. Now my requirement is, so where I can store this list of opportunity. We will go to this. Step 2. We're going to update the stage field. Okay. So we are going to update based on some condition. We're going to update based on some condition, right? So what is the condition? If the opportunity is closed last, okay, if the opportunity is closed last, then next step should be meet financial advisor. So what are we going to do? We're going to for each now. OTP list. Now I'm going to check OP dot stage name equal to close last, right? To do this, I also need that field as well here. Am I right? The field should be here. Okay. So whenever the stage name is close last, then OP dot next step is going to be meet the financial manager. Meet the financial manager. Am I right? Else, because we have only two type of opportunity which chosen here in this select statement, right? One is closed last, rest of the thing is closed one. So I just go with the else. Else we have to go with another if condition. If OP dot stage name equal to closed one, but I just go with the else. Okay, else if, why I'm going by else if, because I do have another condition. If the opportunity is closed today, if OP dot close date. So what I need now, I need a close date as well, right? To check whether the opportunity is closed today. So comma close date. So close date equal to, okay, system dot today. Then what are we going to do? We are going to update the next step equal to send code to customer. So we are not going to do any DML inside the for loop. Okay, once this iteration is completed, whatever the record meet this criteria, we'll have this field in this local variable changed actually. Then we are going to update in one statement, right? We will follow this. Everyone is able to follow this example. Is clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
So before I execute this, let's next step. Okay, so my expectation, there is a record which has been closed today, 12/2. Okay, so this must have a send the quote update here, statement here, and for whatever the records in close last, the last one, right? It should be a meet financial manager. When after executed this, the whole apex, the whole apex, if you execute, then what is the expected output? Right? So that's what we are trying to do here. The semicolon we missed actually. Okay, the statement has run actually. So now I'm going to check why I'm doing this modification, because when the same query execute, the query editor will not get the result. Okay, you just modify something, then you get the result. Send the code to customer, meet the financial manager. Right? We'll follow this. So updating one record, updating multiple records, right? The example, updating one record, updating more than one record. The delete operation, delete an account starts with the test. I need to delete all the account records if the name starts with test. What I'm doing now, I'm just trying to insert some test account. what this statement will do? What this statement will do? This is basically an example you can consider under the insert statement you have seen, right? How to insert a test account, how to insert, okay, account using uh, traditional for loop. Some test account I'd like to insert for my testing purpose. Okay, for a testing purpose, I need to insert some 10 accounts with the name test1, test2, test3, like that. Starting from 1 till 10 records, I like to insert for a testing purpose. Then what I can do? I can go with the traditional for loop. So 10 times 10 records will create it, and every time I'm going to add to the collection. Then finally insert. You will follow this. You will follow this. So now I'm doing this, right? The same thing. Inserting it. So go here. Okay, there are 10 account record has been inserted. So these 10 records I'm going to delete now. I'm going to delete this. What are the records with the name start with test? I'm going to delete this. Select. So when you, when you perform delete operation in your data loader, what type of field you will have in your file? Just a matching field. That's all. You are going to have just only the ID field. Am I right? That's it, right? So there are 19 records start with the name test. So what are you going to do? We just select the ID alone. List of account. Delete ACC list. That's it. Sorry, people able to follow this? The record has been deleted. It goes to the recycle bin by using delete DML operation. Got me? So we'll continue with the rest of the DML statement tomorrow with the Visual Force Apex example as well. With Visual Force Apex example, we'll continue tomorrow with the rest of the DML statement. Right. Yes, that's the one we are going to continue tomorrow, Namita. We are going to continue tomorrow with more examples in Visual Force Apex. Okay, just we have seen the anonymous window, right? Tomorrow you're going to see with the real-time examples, your application examples, right? Okay. See you tomorrow, all of you. Take care.